All right. Y'all have 6 kids between the two of you. Right? Tell me the hardest thing about being a dad.
We were just talking about this on the car.
Actually, let me back up. How many kids do you have?
4.
Give me their names.
Moshe, Maverick, Maine, Meadow. I had to think about it, bro.
Maverick is fire.
Jose, how many kids you got?
2 boys. We got Jackson and Kingston.
All right. What's the hardest thing about raising kids? And what's one thing you wish you would have known?
Well, we were talking about one thing in the car. The hardest thing is just like you really feel your failures because you're shaping a person. You know, we were talking about real talk, the shame you feel when you go too hard on your kids, when you show anger in front of your kids. There's a lot of shame with that because that's not what you want to do, but being a parent's stressful, life is stressful. So I think the hardest part is bouncing back from that.
Yeah.
And you've got to. I think that's like that's critical. You know what I'm saying? What would you say?
I think it's one of the simple things, but I think the hardest thing about being a parent is figuring out who I am and who my son is.
Yeah.
Like my son and I were completely 2 different type of people, personalities, even potential dreams. And now I need to step back and say, you know what? It's about you right now, not about me. And that's what a father is. It's like, man, I'm gonna die to my own dreams and really focus on you. And a question popped to mind. It's like, man, am I willing to let go of all my dreams to platform my sons?
Wow. Yeah.
And that's a hard question.
Yeah.
And if I can be real, no. Like, I want to do what I want to do, but I know the best investment is saying that my dad was a good dad.
Yeah.
And that's supporting his dreams. So I think that's the hardest part, is just dying to yourself. Yeah.
Wish I knew. What do I wish I knew?
I wish, which I'm now just starting to find out, it's okay to cry in front of your son.
Hey.
It's
That's
okay.
a good one, man.
It's okay.
Yeah.
The first time that I actually cried in front of my son was last week, and finances is hard. The economy is hard. Raising 2 kids is hard.
Yeah.
And I just felt the weight of husband, fatherhood, money, credit, all that stuff, and I just cried. And how my son responded was, "Can I give you a hug?"
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I think how we can be good fathers is allowing our sons to serve us when we're low, and allowing them to be Jesus, like giving them the space to be Jesus to us.
Wow. I wish I knew. I would just say, bro, like probably the most critical thing about parenting is the example of your relationship with your wife to your kids. So I think I'm learning that 5 years into having kids, but you know, that's like the deep character work, because it's so much less about what I say and the gems I hopefully kick to my kids, if I got any, but it's more of like whatever dad says is whatever. Some will stick, some won't, but more important, and what's going to stick with them the most is like, what do they experience with mom and dad at home? Like, is it a loving environment? Does dad respect mom? Does dad apologize? I think that's probably been like the most humbling and like biggest reality I've had to hit, is like, it's not about what I say, man. It's about what I actually do. And my kids they're watching me and my wife, and so I'm learning that. I think that's some keys I wish I had up front. But I'm glad I'm learning it now. That's what I would tell the young guys. It's like, your words are only so impactful. Your example of relationships with your wife and then other people, that's going to stick longer in your kids' imagination. So
that's good, man. That's so good. That is so good.
Gems and Maria's, dude.